Hello again, good friends. Welcome, new subscribers. I'm Brian from Apex Detail. Today we will showcase and continue the cutting compound series. Today we're going to take a look at 3D ACA 500 X-Tra Cut Compound. This includes the Alpha Ceramic Alumina Abrasives for both wool or foam pads, rotary or dual action polisher. First we'll do some real world work out in the shop, working on a 2012 Ford Mustang, moderate hardness in the clear coat. It does have love marks, imperfections, nicks, etching, stains, scratches, swirls, all that jazz. And right here, I have a spot. I did a little test area. I'm going to show you how I got the imperfections and the scratches removed. And all we need to do is finish that area down, and we're good to go. Today, I'm going to team it up with a few things. I'll use a rotary and a wool pad. Here we're going to team it up with the Torque 21 millimeter and a Buff and Shine microfiber cutting pad. We'll do one crisscross pattern, up and down, then left and right. We'll wipe off the residue, check our progress, let the area we're working on cool down a bit, and we'll move on from there. Up here on the roof, there's some staining, etching, sand marks from me spot correcting, along with the scratches and swirls. We're going to do one pass and see if it removes it. If not, we'll do a second pass. We'll just see how this ACA performs during each pass. I recommend protection from daily exposure to chemicals, nitrile gloves, a rebreather, protect your lungs, especially having the polisher right here on the same level as my face. It's a good idea. So we're finished here. We're going to grab microfiber, remove the residue, and take a look, see what the progress is like for the ACA. Gone through quite a few corrections with it so far into my second 32-ounce bottle of the product. I can tell you it cuts quick and even, and it does finish down well. You will not have a ton of marring and hazing to finish up when you're finished. As you can see here, it's nice and it's kind of crystal clear for a cutting compound. Very impressive. The only thing it really left behind were some of the etching that I didn't go far enough when I did spot correcting with the wet sanding, and I will have to go over that. Let's come up to the hood here. A little bit easier to see, for you guys to see as I'm correcting. We have scratches and swirl marks, love marks. Let me mask an area, and we'll get to work. As I grabbed the camera to bring you in and get a good angle with the shop light, you could see the turnaround it gave just doing a crisscross pattern. Some areas I'll have to go over again a second time on this hood here. There are some pretty severe scratches here and there, especially on top of the scoop. But I'm very confident at this point that it will take care of that with not much effort. And as you can see, this is the finished product here. I did go over it with a very fine polish, Angel Wax Perfect Polish, which is a very fine abrasive and a cleaner, prepping it for protection here. And this compound has impressed me, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm happy I added it to my arsenal. Okay, let's get this compound on our familiar test panel here. We're going to run it through the same test as we have all the other cutting compounds in this series. So we have 5 sections masked off, 800 grit all the way up to 2500 grit. We'll remove the residue, we'll remove the masking tape, and we're going to do the exact same thing we've done as a constant in all the other tests with the same polisher. You can see here all the sand marks are completed. We have our Flex XFE 83-inch polisher with the exact same pad we've been using throughout all the testing. Again, the test panel has Global 2K, as all of our test panels have on them. A nice constant throughout our testing as well. The test has been enjoyable. It's really neat to see all these compounds, how they may differ in one way or another. So we're going to take a trip down through the sand marks from the 2500 all the way down to the 800 grit, and one return trip. Polishes on mid-speed, pressures like a firm handshake. That will do it. And a tip for you guys just starting out, keep your polisher on the panel. As you power it down and it stops rotating and oscillating, it's easier on the polisher and the pads. No dusting whatsoever here, except for what's floating around the shop. The residue removes easy. It's a user-friendly product. It does finish down well. You can already see some gloss and clarity showing through all the sand marks. And let's take a look at each section. It easily blazed right through the first few sections, the 2500, the 2000 grit. Here is the 1500 grit section. The last two sections here can be difficult for some of the compounds we have tested. This has performed very well in actually both sections. There are some deep gashes in the 800 grit section that a lot of the compounds failed to remove. There aren't many compounds out there formulated to remove 800 grit imperfections, something that deep and harsh. There are some, and I will test them. I will get to them. So let's take these two sections and work on them one more time. We'll extend the working time. I'll really slow it down. I'll put more pressure down. We turned up the speed on the polisher. We want to generate more heat, see if we can get the compound to flash, shorten the cycle time, maybe produce more dust, and we'll see what kind of progress we have in these last two really harsh sections. All right, that's going to do it. As you can see, no dust to contend with. The residue wipes off easy. I'll wipe off the residue, grab you guys, bring you in, and you can see the turnaround it made on these last two sections. Very impressive. Really, the only thing left are a couple deep gashes in the 800 grit section. For the final thought segment of the review of the 3D ACA 500 X-Tra Cut Compound, I'm now through my second 32-ounce bottle of the compound. Um, Really getting to know it, really enjoying it. It's becoming a staple in the arsenal for cutting compounds. And when it comes to the podium, in the honorable mention section, there is some movement yet again after quite a long period of just stagnancy. And Sonax being at the top spot, it has finally been knocked loose from its perch up there. We have 3D going up into the top spot for me in my environment, guys. It may not be so for you and your environment, but I just want to give you an idea of how these compounds perform and where they fit into my arsenal. That will drop Sonax into silver position, Angel Wax down into bronze, pushing the McGuire's M110 down into honorable mention section, which is in the bad section. They are all serviceable, great compounds, and one of these may be in your top spot. Brian from Apex Detail. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. Catch you in the next video.